Enough. Lord, help me, Jesus. Y'all take your seats, take your seats, Lord. The Lord, somebody pray for me. I feel it. Somebody pray for me. Somebody pray for me. I feel that nervousness. Oh my God. I tell you, there's about 3 folks, something's happening right now. Come on, even dancing yet. But something is happening in the house. I got that. Let's sit down. Y'all sit. I just took a few minutes. God, I feel preaching. Y'all sit. It is interesting because in Christendom we're at a time that is pivotal for the Christian and for the saints of God. More so than any other time, I come to tell you that this is not the time for the saints of God to become weary in their doing well. This is not the time to become bamboozled or to become confused by the things that are happening around us. It is so easy to become consumed, to become bothered, to become enticed by the very events that are happening in our lives, because we recognize more than any other time in Christendom that Satan now has unleashed all of his powers and his abilities in an effort to undermine and take out the saints. I come to submit to you that this is not the hour to get nervous, because in Christendom, if you are not going through anything, it simply means that you're not anything. You've got to understand that so strategic is the seasoning that Satan has already designed and planned for your demise and your fall. He does not care about your physical death, would rather create for you spiritual death. He'd rather have you in the church but not be a part of the church. He'd rather have you sitting in church but have your mind somewhere else, because he recognizes that there are some physical possibilities and traps that cannot happen to you. He would rather get you to the place that you become spiritual numb. He'd rather have you look at your bills, look at your situation, look at your friends, and somehow become delusion thinking as if God has forgotten about you. I come tonight with a sure word. I've come to remind you that God is not slack concerning his promises. He knows how to bring everything into fruition, and sometimes you just have to participate in his plan. I need you to touch somebody. I'm just going to participate in his plan. Sometimes you can be in his plan and feel like you are out of tune. Sometimes you can be in tracks but feel like he's not touching you. Sometimes you can be so involved but feel like God has somehow gone on vacation, that he has become distracted. It is as if now we have to do more to get even less. It is as if now we have to praise more without any expectation of receiving, because somebody even prayed last week and you're waiting for your prophecy to come to pass. You're waiting for your answer, and it just looks like your answer is not going to come to pass. Well, I come tonight to submit to you that there are times that God will have you in school when you do not even know that he has you in class. Sometimes God will take you through a myriad of lessons in order to perfect everything that concerns you. Sometimes God will allow you to go through a trial just to learn the lesson from what you're going through. Sometimes God will allow you to be smack dab in the middle of something just to help you to reach the right conclusion and to get the right answer. But you got to understand tonight that everything that God allows, he allows for your preparation, for your development, and for your growth. And so you got to know tonight that you got to learn how to deal with the things that are happening around you and still maintain the praise. I cannot deal with it until I can deal with myself. I cannot deal with what God is allowing until I get to the point where I recognize my praise is not contingent on what he does. Even if God doesn't do anything else. He's already done more than he said he would do. David learns this lesson because here we have him in a spiritual reality. He is now outside of himself, recognizing this test is parallel not only to his spiritual life, but it is parallel to his physical life. See now how God takes David in order to take him through a lesson that was somehow, some kind of way, become more valuable later. I come to submit to this house that God is allowing us now to go through things that we're going to be able to use later. He's letting us experience trials that are for our edification, but for his glorification. God is allowing us now to go through perils that are somehow parallel with us in the spirit. So you must understand now David's lesson, because here David is, and he is at a place of spiritual death, because what is valuable to him has now been lost. And some of you are in the same place as David. You find yourself now in what looks like a personal dilemma that is only parallel to what you're going to need later. But I come to submit to you at this juncture that while you're going through this trial, it is never